welcome to my live. And if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. Happy Monday. Happy first day of the week. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I'm glad that you are here. If you are looking for inexpensive, easy to use, easy to clean DIY projects and ideas, then you are in the right place. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture, and those are the products that we will be using this evening. So once you say stop, once you hop on the live or once you hop on the replay at a later date, tell me hi in the comments and tell me where you are watching from. Also, if you are watching from my private Facebook group, there is a permission link in the description of the video. If you click that link, that just allows StreamYard the ability to pin your profile name and pick to your comment. If you choose not to click that permission link, that's completely okay, but just know that your comment will show up as Facebook user and I won't know who to say hi to. Also, I want to let you know that I'm live in 3 locations this evening, so if you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your comment feed, that person may be on a different platform. Also, if at any time you during this video or replay, if you like what you are seeing and you think others should see it too, make sure you spread the chalk love around Facebook, tag your crafty friends, and invite them to watch along with you. Also, if you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button, heart button, like and comment, I would greatly appreciate it. That just helps spread my channel to the ends of the earth. So with that, let's go to the comments. I see that Jason is watching from the other side of the door. I don't see anybody else on yet. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera and I will show you what we are working on. I'm also going to do this and swap those. And I think that'll work. Okie doke. So we are using in the title of the video, it says it is a Dollar Tree upcycle. So I shopped my stash. I have quite a few of these little pennant. They're probably that compressed wood cardboard. I have quite a few of these. So they're these cute little pennant flags. So what I have done, this is just kind of a paper design. So I just take my orbital sander to it. You can see I've already tried to peel some of it off, but you need some heavy grit sandpaper and like an orbital sander, and it will get it all the way down almost to the bare wood that you see on the back. So then I end up with a clean slate. And so I have 2 of these. One is kind of a slightly white color. The other color is Plaster by Waverly. They're both, I believe they're both chalk paints. This may be craft acrylic. I can't remember. So anyway, you go from this to this, and now I have a blank slate to work on. So I'm going to put this one away. I'm also going to come down here. I was going to turn a little bit of music on. Let me know if this is too loud. Oh yeah. See if I can drown out. Dang. That might be a bit too loud. Yeah. Never mind. I was going to try to drown out Dane, but that's okay. So I wanted to add a little bit of detail down here to make it a color block. So I'm just going to do a little bit of design down here. So I thought about using this ticking stripe that is on the, this one is called the Farmhouse Half Circle Patterns. So this is the ticking stripe. I also brought in, and sorry, this is going to turn my camera green probably, but I brought in the Found Patterns from Nature. Yep, there it goes. I don't know why it does that. This one transfer is in, it's 30% off right now. So you get 4 different background designs. You get this floral design. You get a tiny leopard. This is kind of like an abstract scratch pattern. And then you get another like greenery pattern. So I thought I might try the leopard on one of them, but this one is currently 30% off in the specials tab on my chalk site, so you might want to pick that up. And then we're also, this one's really going to turn a green probably. Yep. Maybe if I hold it like this. This one is called Happy Family. This one is a good bang for your buck. So for $24.99, you get 6 different designs. So you get Love Lives Here with a wreath. A messy kitchen is a sign of a happy family. Family, the people you live for, laugh with, and love forever. Welcome to the beautiful chaos. Please excuse the mess. Our standards have lowered with each child, and home is where our story begins. So I was going to use some of those. And I'm just going to dig out some different colors here. I think I might pull out. Oh, that's a bit too green. I also have some felt because I might add some felt florals at the end. We'll just have to see. But I should have matched my felt up to my chalk paste earlier. That's probably about the best color, but it's a little bold. Ouch. Okay, so let's get started. If you're new here, these are silkscreen reusable adhesive backed transfers. So if I pull this back and peel it off its backer sheet, that reveals some sticky adhesive. These are reusable about 8 to 12 times, depending on how well you take care of them. So I'm just writing back on the back side of the transfer. That way, when I am finished with this transfer and I've cleaned it and I'm ready to store it away, I know that I need to put the transfer on this side of the backer sheet. You'll also notice that there are some lines. These are just suggested cut lines. You can certainly cut your transfers up any way you prefer. I like to keep my backer sheets intact until I determine how I'm going to store them. I don't know why I did that. It's not going to help. I do store them based on the size of surface that they go on. So even though this is a size C transfer and I have a portfolio for size C's, because once I cut them apart, they are sized for size A surfaces, I will probably cut this up eventually and store it with my size A's. That way, if I ever have a workshop or anything, I have all of the size A type designs together, and I'm not having to pull up my size C portfolios because they have some size A designs. So I try to store them by size of surface that they go on. So I'm just scoring my transfer apart instead of cutting the backer sheet. Like I said, I probably will cut this one down later, but for right now, I'm keeping it intact. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. So let's write on the back side. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to score it along the cut line. So I'm just picking up the corner of the transfer. Sorry, I keep looking at my monitor instead of the camera. And I'm just going to score across those cut lines. And there you go. Get that put back in there. My arms aren't long enough. So let's pull this set of transfers back in. So I think before we get that too far, because I painted these and because they're kind of a not so great wood, they're not good wood quality, I'm going to wax them. And if you haven't, I'm going to use the surface wax from Couture. Mine has gotten a little hard, so I actually started heating mine up this weekend before I started to use it. So I'm just going to take my quick dry tool and just kind of soften it a little bit. That way it's easier to spread over my surface. Then I'm going to take my wax applicator and this is going to help seal up any little nooks and crannies that I might have. I did sand these really well, but the one I'm waxing right now, I left some of that white paper on, so it kind of left a few little dimples. So I want to kind of seal those up with the wax. It's also going to be a protective barrier for my transfer so that it doesn't stick so hard that it either wrecks my transfer or pulls up my paint. So I'm going to flip this over and just kind of burnish it in. It just kind of gives it a kind of a silky smooth surface. So let's do the other one. I'm going to heat my wax up a little bit. Turn it over this way. Okay, so I'm going to flip my applicator over to the microfiber side. And you don't have to get this fancy applicator. It does make it nice. You could use an old sock. You could use a ratty t-shirt that you've cut up. You can go to the dollar store and buy microfiber rags and cut those up and use those. Okay, so now I think we're ready. Whew. Super smooth. So I think I want to use this Please Excuse the Mess. Our standards have lowered with each child. People seem to like the snarky. I'm just laying it here right now so I can kind of get kind of where I want it. Pull that up a little bit so I have a lot of room to do my that one is funny. I like the welcome to our beautiful chaos. I'm not for sure I really like these little things. I may leave them off. Actually, also really, you could either, and if you don't like this design, like I'm not very fond of this little line thing, you could mix and match, and like you could put the laurels. Those would fit perfect. You could use these two laurels. You might even, you wouldn't be able to use it as it's printed, but you could put one portion of the wreath, put your sentiment down, and then add the other part of the wreath. It is going to make the design bigger because this doesn't fit inside the wreath. I think I might add the laurels to this one. So to remind myself to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and block off that design. Otherwise I'll forget. So I'm just going to block that off with some placement tape. So I'm just going to put this one away for right now. Let's work on this one first before I get too ahead of myself. So I'm just going to place it. I did forget to wax, but I've noticed that these new manufacturer transfers aren't quite as sticky. So just kind of use your judgment. You'll kind of get a feel for it as you go. I pulled out just a neutral black and a neutral storm to use with these. And get some squeegees. Just trying to decide what color, sorry. So I just have some black velvet. I'm just going to dip my squeegee into the chalk. Burnished really well. So I'm just going to trying to work on my pronunciation. Instead of saying I'm going to just drag the squeegee across the silkscreen area, making sure I get all the tips and toes of each of my letters. I'm pretty notorious for missing a letter, especially the bottom of a letter or the tip top. So I'm just kind of evening everything out, making sure I don't have any squeegee lines. Put any excess back in my jar, which I don't have a whole lot. Let's flip that over. Now we're going to peel it off gently. I'm going to try to peel up straight toward the ceiling instead of pulling it back toward me. I'm going to pull it up gently to the ceiling. I'm just going to check as I go. Perfect. So I'm just going to lay this over here. I have a little table and a spray bottle, and I'm just spraying it down to keep that paste wet until I can clean it. I'm just going to dry it real quick before funny. Jason says, I think I'm gonna work on my pronunciation too. Oh, you can't live with him, you can't live without him. Okay, I think that's dry. So let's pull out our half circle ticking. There's hair all over it. I always blame it on Luna, but it's probably mine. So I'm going to put it up toward the top. I'm probably only going to use the first 2 stripes because these 2 stripes don't go to the bottom. So I'm actually just going to borrow the tape that I put on here, gently pull it off. Just kind of mainly, it's more of a visual, but it also does help keep me from pasting where I don't want to. So I'm just going to burnish these 2 stripes down. And I think I'm going to use Storm. So it's just a really pretty gray neutral. This is one of those OG colors that we've had since the very beginning. If they ever get rid of it, there's probably going to be a mutiny. I'm going to turn this around so that I paste from here back. I'm also going to borrow a little bit more and just gently cover this hole right here, because I will chalk in it as well. So here we go. So I'm just going to drag I'm actually going to just go this way. That way I have less squeegee lines. I'm going to try to get all the excess off, because I'd like to try to use it again, but I may just have to clean it. So let's pull that up gently. That's pretty. I think I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off. Mainly because my paste that gray paste is really dry anyway. And if I try to keep chalking with that transfer dirty, that's just going to just keep drying in there. Try to get the back side. Let's see. I need to clean all these up anyway. Okay, so to get it to dry quicker, I'm going to put it into the microfiber side of my fuzzing towel. And let's get this area cleaned up. See how easy it was to clean those? I didn't even get my tub out. My table got a bath too. Okay, so let's dry this. Of course, now my table's kind of wet, but so I'm actually going to move on to the next one. I know it's kind of weird, but while that transfer dries, let's move on to the next one. I'm going to pull it out. And this one says, "Welcome to our beautiful chaos." I don't think I'm going to use any of the other elements. Get my tape out again. So I'm going to block this off because I don't want it. And we'll do the same thing. Make sure that's somewhat even. So this one says, "Welcome to our beautiful chaos." So I've got my black velvet ink. Sorry, I keep forgetting to. It's too easy to look at my monitor, and that doesn't. You're not in the monitor. You're right there. So I'm just dragging the squeegee down the silkscreen area. Again, making sure I have all of the letters covered from their tips to their toes. I'm putting any excess back in the jar. And I'm going to come back and try to pick up a little more And get rid of a few more of those squeegee lines, because those will dry in your design and you will see them. Okay, so now let's pick that up. Gently, slowly pull it back and up toward the ceiling. And again, I'm going to spray this one down. And then let's dry that one. How's everybody doing out there? So for this one, I think I want to pull out this leopard. I can't forget my transfers in there. So I'm going to pull off the leopard. Remember this transfer, it's the Found Patterns. It is 30% off right now, and you get 4 different backgrounds, like this floral, this small leopard, this kind of scratch abstract, and kind of a greenery pattern. So we're going to use of course we're going to use the leopard. Okay, so I thought I was going to fuzz that, but I'm not. There's not a terrible amount of stickiness, just because it's mostly silk screen. I'm going to use this edge of the transfer to line it up. I'm also going to pull out a scrap piece of backer sheet, just because I don't want this piece that's hanging off to stick to my table and maybe pull up. These are like paper laminate, and so I don't want that to get pulled up and stuck to my transfer. Speaking of stuck to my transfer, there's another stupid hair. Jason says he's doing great and that these are really cute. Well, thank you. I think it's time to wash my fuzz towels. I think I'm going to go ahead and do gray or storm again, but I'm going to get a larger squeegee so I can cover a little bit more surface area. So I just have, this one is the small squeegee, this one is the mini squeegee, and this one is a mini squeegee that I have cut apart. Okay, so I've loaded up my small squeegee. I'm going to kind of tilt this to the side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to drag this down the silk screen area, covering up all of it. Okay, so now I'm going to come back through and I'm going to pull up all that excess so I can kind of see the design again. I need to uncover it, pull up all of that because I don't want to waste any of that. And if you can't get it all up, that's fine. It does start to dry after a wee bit. Okay, kind of even it out if you can. Get rid of all your pull marks. Okay, so now we're going to pull it up. Ugh, love it. It might be a bit kind of busy, but it's super cute nonetheless. Okay. I have run, let's dry this. Super cute. And then after I dry this, I'll show you real quick how to clean these transfers. I know I tout all the time how easy it is to clean, so I'm going to show you. And then we'll do a little bit of embellishment on on both of these. Hello, Sharon. Between, we're both supposed to see. Well, I'm not sure what that means. Here's that little itty bitty leopard print. Super cute. Okay, so I've ran out of room over here, so I want to show you how easy it is to clean these transfers. And then we'll go back and finish the ticking one. So I just have a tub of water. You can use any water source you want, whether it be like a utility sink, a tub of water like this. You could use your bathtub, your shower, or you could just use a spray bottle. But it's easier to have a good source of water. So I just have this tub. You also want a board eraser if you can. So you just want to wet your board eraser. And I turned it over at first. I had it paste side down, and I just kind of rub it gently on the bottom of this tub of water, and it kind of gets a lot of that off already. But then I flip it over, paste side up, and I'm just going to, I know you can't hardly see it because my water's dirty, but I'm just going to rub it gently with the board eraser. Let's see, it's already almost all off, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the back side the same way because that will release any of the remaining paste that is stuck in the silk screen. Let's see. And just like that, it is clean as a whistle. So I'm going to remove this so I don't spill it. And then I'm going to get out just a disinfecting wipe. It's going to do a couple different things. One, it's going to get rid of a lot of that lint that we picked up if and when you fuzz your transfer, or any lint that I may have picked up off of my surface. So this is actually the back side. And it's also, I think it helps wick away some of that water. And you could, if you really wanted to, flip it over and get any paste that's still on the front side. And then leave it out sticky side up to air dry for about 15-20 minutes. Sharon says they are both super cute. Darn autocorrect. I'm just going to lay this over here. I can find a spot. So I just let it air dry, sticky side up, and then I will put it back on the backer sheet when it's ready to put away. Okay, so now let's finish. I think my other transfer is dry. We'll bring this one back in. Remember, this one's been hanging out in here drying. And I'm actually going to flip it over and just roughly line this one up with the one we pasted, just so I can kind of get, actually, maybe not. Darn, I wish that one was longer. Actually, I'm just gonna eyeball it, to be honest. Because then I don't have to clean it again. I can just use one of these to do like right there. So this is the ticking pattern from the farmhouse half circles. These are the tiered tray circles, but feel free to use them not as they're intended. So this is Storm. I'm just going to add some more ticking stripes. I can get all that paste off. And then let's even everything out. And let's dry that. And then let's just use a piece of this right there. To get the bottom. And then we'll use the piece. Probably should have done this side first. Just use that same little area. Okay, let's pop all this back in there. Oh, what a mess. Okay, I know I've shown you this before. Don't do this. Really probably ought to clean the sides of your paste. So instead of leaving, let me pull this before I forget. Instead of leaving all of this gunk on the edges, because that's what dries your paste out faster, when you're done, just pull all that stuff off and then just mix it in. As long as it's a good consistency. Like some of that was a little too dry probably, but pull all that stuff off of the sides. And that'll keep your paste fresher longer. I don't do a good job of that, but I should. There, looks a lot better. Okay, let's get this good and dry. I'm going to pop these over in my water just to get those started. Okay, let's get this dry. Let's spray this down. Okay. Oops. Okay. Get this dry. Okay, so they are cute as they are, but we kind of need to embellish it a little bit. Move all this out of the way. So I have a stash of felt flowers that I have made that I haven't used on other projects. I may or may not use some of them. That one's pretty. That one might work. Or I can make some. So I grabbed some yarn. That's really pretty. I don't know if that's the style I'm going for. Like that cute little thing tucked in there. And I could show you how to make these if you may not need to make any. So I'm just kind of, yeah, I like this big one right there. And then tuck that like that maybe. But we'll make a few more just so I can show you how to make some of them. Cute little yellow one. That's kind of cute. There's a smaller one. I don't know if that would look any better. Nope. I like that because I can tuck that one in there. But you can make all sorts. There's some with a little felt ball on the inside. I could tuck that one back in there. I just need some leaves. You could even use pom-poms. I've used, probably not this big, but you can use pom-poms on your in with felt flowers. Oh, it's kind of pretty. Probably too big for this design. Anyway, there's lots. Another cute little yellow one. I don't know, I kind of like those. But let me show you real quick how to make a couple. So you can take any round object. I think I can do this. Let's use purple. No, let's use this peach color. So I just rummaged through my craft room. I found this lid and I found this bowl, and the bigger your circle, the larger your flower. I think what pen would work. I'd probably use like a friction pen because it disappears with heat, but we'll use just an ink pen. So we'll do this one. Well, let's do the purple. And we'll do the smaller one, and I'll show you the size difference. Okay, so let's find our scissors. Okay. Jason says he really likes those. The colors are perfect. Yeah, I got lucky. So you just need a good pair of scissors. I really like these gold ones. I should link them. I got them from Amazon. They work great for paper. They work great for fabric. And I've used the tar out of these, and they haven't dulled a bit. Okay, so there's that one. So if you Google Fatima, Fatima, these scissors should come up. Sometimes they're gold, sometimes they're rose gold. But for cutting, they are gold. They're heavy in your hand, but they don't feel heavy, but they're heavy sturdy, I guess I should say. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is just kind of cut in to your circle. And you want to try to keep it as even as you can, but it's not terribly, I mean, this shape is pretty forgiving. You just kind of want to keep cutting a spiral. Until you get to the inside. And the wider you cut this strand on the outside, the taller your flower will be. And that kind of depends on your project. And then you're going to want to leave, and you'll keep going until you get to the inside. And then you're just going to leave like a little ball, kind of like that. Same way on this one. And if you don't like this little point from where you started, you can just kind of trim that around. And then keep going until you get kind of a little ball. So then you want to grab your hot glue gun and put a squeegee under there just in case it drips, but that one usually doesn't. And then you're going to start at your pointed end, and you're just going to pinch it and you're going to pinch it and start rolling. And then I usually, once I get a pretty good start, and you have to hold your tongue just right. And then once I get a good start, then I pinch it and kind of hold it in between my thumb and index finger, and then start rolling it that way. You can glue as you go. This one, it's easy. I find it fairly easy to roll without having to keep gluing it. And I try to keep the bottom as flat as possible. I do need to trim that pointy area up a little bit. Just keep winding it up. once you get to this little ball, you can put a ton of glue on it. I probably should have glued as I went. And then you're just going to lay that ball onto the bottom of your flower. I kind of boo-booed on it a little bit, and if some of your layers start to come apart like this, I mean, you can peel it back. Just kind of add a little bit of glue to that bottom part of the felt. There's your cute little spiral flower. Hello, Miss Bonita. How are you? She says, good evening, friend. She says she'll bring me her felt to cut and mold into flowers. So there you go. Let's do the purple one. Oops. So same thing with the purple one. Just want to start with the end that you started cutting, and you kind of want to pinch it and start rolling. This one we may roll as we go. So you can kind of just start adding glue to the bottom of the strip. Kind of keep your fingers out of the way. Once it gets thicker, it's a little easier. So I kind of stick it to the side and then roll it. Kind of helps keep your fingers out of the glue. So kind of stick it. So I kind of stick it and then roll it. And you don't have to glue it the whole way either. We may have to go in. I don't think I have any. I have some needle nose. Those might work. So I'm just going to keep gluing. I'm going to just kind of roll it up. I might just glue periodically just to keep it together. So I'm just adding a little tiny bit of glue right there. So I'll just roll it up and just kind of stick it. You could, even if you wanted to, probably add glue onto the flower if that's easier. I have never done it that way, but let's just give it a whirl. I just find it's easier to do it along here. And then this little last bit. And then you're going to put a bunch of glue on this little button, or the little ball, and I'm out of glue. So if your center's a little out of whack, you can take some tweezers, and I like the reverse tweezers just because they're easy to use with this, and you can kind of roll that center back up. Well, there's that one. So you can see the difference in size just based on not a whole lot of difference, but just based on the size of circle that you start with. Bonita says she would for sure burn herself. Her and hot glue have a love-hate relationship. That's why I like these small glue guns. Actually, the best thing for felt is the little green and black Surebonder with the fine detail point, because it's a longer, smaller nozzle at the end. I have one, but mine drips, and this This Gorilla Glue gun does not drip at all, but I do like the fine point on the Shore Bonder better for felt flowers. The other thing you can do is I have used, I found some patterns, which this probably isn't kosher, but I also do have a lot of patterns for felt flowers. And so I made a template out of Dollar Tree, those Dollar Tree cutting mats. So you could use something like this as well. But the circles make it super easy. You just trace this circle and cut it out. But there's a ton of tutorials on Instagram, Facebook. So we have, I think I really like the flowers that I picked out for both of these. The only other thing we might need to do is add some greenery, and you can do that. You can either cut leaves out of felt, which I have done, or you can cheat and sometimes use like faux greenery. Like I found this at Michael's the other day. So you could use this whole chunk, or you could cut these little pieces off, which I might do, and you can just add them in. That's really pretty like that. So if you find some greenery that you really like lamb's ear, you can use that. So when I find some greenery that I like, I usually just cut it off and put it in little baskets. So and here's some little tiny succulent type greenery that I like to add. It just adds a little bit more texture, a little bit more color. I think these are really pretty though. I might just cheat and use all of these. I like that they lay flat. And some have a little bit more greener tips than the others, like this is green and these are more yellow. I have some fern leaves. I have a whole bunch of greenery. I'm not a big fan of those of the fern ones. So here's what this one looks like. So I think I'm ready to glue that one. That one's really pretty. And then I think that's too small. Just tuck a few of these in and see what happens. So I think because this particular flower is bigger, I'm going to use a larger clump instead of cutting them apart, just to keep more in scale with that bigger flower. I think I need one more. Maybe not. Maybe I won't. Actually, that has two of them on it. There. Just kind of playing. So I'm just going to tuck that one right there. I think that'll work. Okay, so I definitely like that one, so I'll go ahead and glue that one down. this succulent apart. Let's see if I can use it for leaves. I'll just go with this. Okay, let's get, I'm going to put a glue stick in. So let's, and kind of be mindful of where your weird, if you have any weird seams. So let's glue that one down. So like this has a seam, so you want to make sure you kind of put it down. Oh, I forgot about tucking that one in. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to this little end. I'm going to tuck that in. And these little wispy things kind of help camouflage where you've stuck two flowers together. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to stick. You have to be kind of careful with these plastic florals because they sometimes will melt a little bit. And if you have the little detail tool or a multi-tool, that'll kind of help aid in sticking it down. Okay, so that one's in. So I'm just going to look back in here, stick a dot of glue in there, and then shove it in there with my detail tool and hold it. And we have one more. This one turned out super cute. So you can kind of pick up your flower a little bit and then stick that greenery in there. Super cute. I did probably shove that one a little too close to the turquoise one, but that works. Oh, I just love it. Super cute. Yeah. But that's okay. Okay, let's fix this one. This one is the Welcome to Our Beautiful Chaos. Not quite. Let's try one of the ones we made. And let's get out another gray. I like and these are just flowers that I've cut. So if I unfolded them, they would kind of look like, I don't know. It would just look like a flat flower, kind of like this. But I just fold them in half and then I put a couple together and it makes these little wispy things. So it can kind of tuck it in to a flower kind of like that. It can kind of help hide weird things. But I think I need it over here to kind of help camouflage. Well, darn it. I think I'm going to fold it in half again. So I'm going to have to hold it quite a bit because there's some stiff hot glue in there. Benita says, I know you're not a purple fan, but maybe try the purple since you have a small yellow already. True. I can see my ink line on there. I don't know if I want two of the same flower, but I bet I have something else in here. Too bold? Too many? That's an option. Too. It's not terrible. I think I like that color better. Does that surprise anyone? Now the small yellow one, she says. That one, like that? I'm not a purple fan, but hopefully the person that may be the future purchaser of this may love purple. I mainly grabbed it because I wanted to get it out of my stash. Although, I know there's lots of people that like purple. I don't. You like that? Like that? Stick that in there. And then we might stick this other one over here. And then stick this one like that. How's that look? I just love felt flowers. They take a while to make, but ugh, they're gorgeous. Okay, so pull up the purple one. Put a big dollop of glue down. And then keep in mind where your seam is. So you kind of want to tuck that down. Or you can tuck it toward the other flower, and that way it will get hidden that way. And I think off camera, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to stain this piece with a stain color, like that antiquing wax that I like to use. Put this one down. Let's pull that back up. Let's put it down this way. That one had a weird petal. Okay, so then we'll tuck these little gray ones in. These kind of help in those transition places. I just love those. Like right there, kind of helps break up the weirdness between these two flowers. It's super cute. Even though it's purple, it's still cute. Okay, so let's add our greenery. Kind of want to lift everything up. Put a dot of glue down in there. Kind of let that hang. Same way over here. Just kind of peek in. Dot of glue. Shove it in. And then I kind of hold it down till it's dry. And then one more. I like to do my greenery in threes. Just kind of balances everything out. Now I just have to figure out where I'm going to take these, because now I have a booth at Junk in the Trunk, which it just got a promotion. So I have now moved to a larger spot that's a little bit more prominent. I also have stuff in Raised Rustic and in Ellsworth. A cute little store. It's very similar to CJ's. Just a little bit of everything. And then hopefully starting either this weekend or early next week, I will have stuff downtown at Flipping Fabulous. Not a whole lot, but just a few things. Benita says, have I tried making the paper sack roses? She saw Sarah with probably Booksy and buttons make them once. I have yet to try them. I haven't. I will have to go back and see that. I've made them with paper, but not paper sacks. So there is an up close of that flower arrangement. Even though it's purple, it's still pretty. So there's that sign. And then this is the up close. I just think this one's sweet. And I think it's this dusty rose flower. Very pretty. I think next to the turquoise, it's just a stunning color combination. So let me show you these up from this way. And this has a cute little hanging sign. So I never know how to hold these. Please excuse the mess. Our standards have changed with each child. So again, I will come back in and I'll stain this. It would be even, excuse me. Oh, it'd be really, excuse me. Sorry, those came out of nowhere. This would be even cute to add a couple little farmhouse beads that are painted to match the colors. So if I added a little beading up here, I may have to do that. Who knows, I have enough paint colors. So super cute. Yay. Oh, thank you, Benita. She said, bless me. Okay. I'm not going to go over the promotions. You can check my Facebook page for those. I still need to get those all posted. You can also go back and rewatch last week's video because I go through those. So I invite you to do that. But before I let you go, let me put my top-down camera back on. And I will pull up the giveaway from this morning. So I only had 2 people that posted on this morning's check-in post. So the 2 of you have a 50-50 chance of winning. So if you don't know, if you haven't been here for very long, I try to go live on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30-ish Central Time. So on Monday and Wednesday mornings on my Facebook page, Robin's Egg Blue Creations, I post a check-in question and or game. Sometimes it's a fun little game. So if you participate by either commenting or answering the questions, then you are automatically entered into that day's Happy Mail giveaway that I do that night on live. You don't need to be present to win. So even if you watch the replay, you can still be eligible. You don't even have to purchase anything. It's just kind of a fun way of me giving back to those that participate on my social media platforms. So this morning's question was, what is your favorite summertime beverage to drink? And so I had 2 people comment. So I'm confirming those 2. And so I'm doing it this way because if I share my screen on my computer, it kind of jacks everything out. My computer's doesn't handle things very well. So I'm going to hit start. And it looks like Miss Amanda is tonight's winner. So congratulations, Amanda. I will get with you. I probably still owe you some. I need to check my list. I'm a little behind on getting Happy Mail out, but bear with me. I will get that out. So congratulations. Be checking back on Wednesday morning for that day's, check-in post. Robin's Egg Blue Creations on Facebook. So with that, I'm going to hop off. Oops. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this evening, or if you're on the replay later, thanks for hanging out with me there. As always, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.